how to play with a bad back. Into their senior years, it's just restrictions in general. That's why I like a more of a narrow stance. Even that hurt, but how we can actually improve it too. My restrictions are quite full on at the moment. I now need to have the gears of my hands and arms doing most of the work. You can actually get better at your golf. Kick in, that felt better. Felt like I squared that up. There we go. Perfect little shot. Hi everyone, welcome back to another video here on the channel. Thank you very much for joining me. My name is Warren Bennett. If you've been to the channel before, you know who the main man is down there. And welcome to a cloudy, quite still autumn day here on the Middle Range at Chesterfield. Today's video, as you can see from the thumbnail, I think it's going to be the thumbnail anyway, is how to play with a bad back. And it's not necessarily about a bad back, it's just restrictions in general. When we get older, we're finding ourselves to be a bit less flexible. We've got some ailments, but how can we keep improving? How can we not only sustain our golf, but how we can actually improve it too? So I'll get the front camera set up, get his lordship out of the way, and I'll tell you all about it. Okay everyone, thanks very much for joining me, and it's good timing at the moment because I'm suffering from a bad back. My restrictions are quite full on at the moment, and I haven't had a bad back for probably about 10-12 years now. So I don't know why it's brought it on. Golf hasn't brought it on, just old age I think. But how can we improve our swing, or how can we not get any worse at the very least? So because of my bad back, I can't twist, I can't put this pressure and swing how I would like. So what can I do to continue playing golf? And this, like I said in the intro, doesn't have to be for someone with a bad back. It could be someone who's into their senior years and want to improve or just carry on playing golf. Because what you don't want to do when you're older, you don't want to think, well, I can't hit the ball very far, the golf course has kind of outgrown me and I'm just going to stop playing. But if you follow some of these guidelines, you can definitely carry on, and not only carry on, you can actually get better at your golf. Okay, so what I'm going to do, and this you can do this with every club, I'm going to have a nice narrow stance, a narrower stance. I'm not going to have a big wide one. That's going to encourage me to stay nice and still. But what I need to do now, because I can't twist, even that hurt, is now I've got to swing the club more with my arms and create the speed more with my arms, because the golf swing is broken down into legs, body, arms and hands. And because of my bad back, I now need to have the gears of my hands and arms doing most of the work. So from here, I'm going to now have to introduce hinge. Hinge being, if you're not sure, is if I'm trying to hit my head with my club without moving my elbows and my arms, that's what hinge is. A nice finger grip helps and lift the club up. Obviously in golf, we need to now make a hand backswing doing that. So we need to pick the club up. Having some hinge in your backswing will open your club a little bit more. You can have a shutter face, but with a shut face, I'm going to do a video about this, you have to have a body action on the way through to square that up generally. So to have more hinge, you're going to have an open club face, or a more open club face. If you've got a more open club face, you now need to be a bit more active down the bottom. When my hands are kind of above my right shoe, I need to now work at releasing my right hand. That's why the old feet together drill is absolutely beautiful. That's why I like a more of a narrow stance. So from about here, I'm going to feel the hinge, basically pointing the club up. I'm doing it, as you can see there, just with the hinge of my wrists. And that's creating a nice short arm swing, hands where they are now, but my club now, because of that hinge, because of this angle, as you can see, the club is now behind my head. But with this hinge comes that open club face, as you could probably see from the behind view. The leading edge is pointing down a little bit more. So from here, we now need to really work at rolling that right hand in the release. But there's a timing to that. You release, if you're not sure, let's say your right hand palm facing the front camera there. And you can see it's basically just doing this. It's rolling 180 degrees without doing it with your shoulders. You're just doing it with your hands only, but you're not doing it with the shoulders, which I see too many people kind of just start smothering it. Okay, let's start hitting a few. So a little hinge I'm going to feel. So a nice short arm swing, long club head swing. From here, You can see I'm keeping hold of the angle, and then I'm just going to really roll that club face over. Nice and light to start with, give yourself some time. And that, off a nice steel head, is how you create a little bit more natural speed, I call it. Now you might have seen, eagle-eyed watchers, as the ball went a little bit right on that one. So what I need to do is, it's telling me I've got a good hinge, but the club face was a little bit open at impact, so I need to now square this up a little bit more. So a little bit more right hand earlier, but I'm creating a good speed down there. You're doing everything off a nice steel head. I can't twist on the way through. I can kick a little bit in with my right side. Remember, you don't have to twinge. You did twinge. You don't have to twist. You can still create a fair bit of speed just with your hands alone. Now you might say having a wristy swing is going to be an inconsistent one. Yes, there's timing involved, and you might have to work at that timing a little bit, but that is the price, unfortunately, you're going to pay with not moving your body, because you can't. So you're going to now have to really work at your arm swing. So there is some timing element, like I hit that one to the right, that ball telling me, right, I've got a good hinge, club face is a little bit open so we can square it up a bit more. There we go. You can see I'm kicking in with my head, kicking in with my knee, and keeping my head still. That's the secret to this. We're not going to move and release our head into the ball. We're going to keep our head nice and still. It can be a little weight shift. Little weight shift helps the angle, helps you to keep and maintain this angle. Then from here, we're really going to swat it away. Really work at that right hand rolling. If the ball goes left, you need to work a little bit more hinge, get the club face open a little bit more. The hingy, that's a word, the more hinge you can do on the backswing, the more you're going to have to release it, which is good, because the more you can release it, the more speed you have down there. So I could still play well into my latter years, I think, doing this method of less with the body, more with the hands and arms. If you're not used to that, it will take some getting used to, because if you're used to over moving, this is going to feel pretty static to you. But remember, if you're static with your body and your head, something then has got to take over, and you need to educate these hands and arms to be a little bit more efficient. Hinge it open, close the door. There we go, beautiful. I hit my 7-iron probably about 170 carry on a good day, a little bit downwind probably. That's probably gone a little less than that, probably 165, can't really tell out here, but it's not that far short, because you can still create that speed down there just by giving those wrists and giving that club as late snap into the ball. That's how you create that snap. Keep nice and still throughout. Keep the peaks of my cap looking down at that ball throughout. It's exaggerated, I'm doing it. Hinge it up, release it through. So the ball went a little bit right on that previous one. So again, it's telling me that, okay, I'm probably good here. I've got an open club face, I'm hinging it quite well. I'm just late on the release. Just focus on a little bit of roll here. So open club face, late, hands above the right shoe roughly, and then we're going to roll it over. Nice and still. Remember, we're not doing it with the head or the shoulders. We're just focusing on the hands, releasing that club. So my right hand is looking back behind me quite early. Okay, let's see if I can just layer that release on top of this one. Head still, kick in. That felt better. Felt like I squared that up. There we go. Perfect little shot. It can't be perfect. You will have to rely on that timing a little bit more, because in a perfect world, yes, you'd like your engine room of your body to be squaring that up and working with your the club head, but we can't, and I can't right there. So I'm going to have to rely on a little bit of flash speed with my hands. But the golf ball, like it did with me there, is going to tell you which part to work on. If you're missing it left, you're feeling like you're releasing it well, feel like you're staying nice and square, and look into the backswing. Feel like you've got a bit more hinge there, and see what the ball does. The ball is a great teacher, better than Butch Harmon, because it's going to tell you which side of the fence to work on. Either more of a hinge, open backswing, or a little bit more release. Generally, the club golfer will want a little bit more release down there while staying nice and still. Okay everyone, so thanks very much for joining me. Trev's decided to join the party, looking for his tennis ball over there, so thanks very much for your support. If you're new to the channel, welcome to the Academy here on YouTube, and if you're a regular watcher, thank you very much for your continued support, and I hope, with everyone, you're getting something out of these videos. So for myself, Trev, in a pretty quiet middle range here at Chesterfield, we'll see you next time. Stay healthy on and off the golf course, and we'll see you then. Cheerio!